In this video, we're going to find side lengths of triangles tangent to circles. So here are two examples. This one's easier, and let's get started on it then. You need the Pythagorean theorem to use these. So the Pythagorean theorem, actually, let's type it out. Pythagorean theorem. It's very famous. You probably learned it in another class because it's used everywhere. So it is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's very useful, but is only used with what kind of triangle? A right triangle. And that's why it says side lengths of triangles tangent to circles. So tangent to circles means the line is 90 degrees. So they're saying that this line right here is 90 degrees, which makes a right triangle. On this one right here, the 90 degrees is right there. And now we can figure out what the missing side length is because we knew it was tangent, and tangent means it was 90 degrees. Okay, so now we have a leg and another leg, and then we don't know the hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse again? The hypotenuse is the longest side. So hypotenuse is the longest side. And then what letter is the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is always the letter C because it's the longest side. So in this case, we're going to have a squared plus b squared equals, we don't know, squared, because we don't know what the longest side is. This is the longest side right here. Okay, now a and b, does it matter which one goes where? No. So I'm going to do a is 5.4 squared. And then plus b is 7.2 squared. And then question mark, I'm going to turn it into x because I'm used to dealing with x squared. All right, now let's do these. If you remember, 5.4 squared is just 5.4 times 5.4. If you find the little square button on the calculator, you can just put 5.4 and hit the square button. That works perfectly just as well. So now I'm going to do 5.4 squared, which is going to be 29.16. So 29.16 if you did 5.4 squared, and then we got 7.2 squared is going to be 51.84, and then x squared. Now a reminder, what did I just do? I just did 5.4 times 5.4, and this was 7.2 times 7.2. That's how I got those numbers. So now I just add them. What is 29.16 plus 51? You'd be shocked. Adding those together is 81. And now we got to get rid of the squared. And so we are going to take the square root of both to cancel that out. And now we are left with 9 equals x. Now you're probably wondering, but Ms. Tyler, what about the plus or minus in front of it? You're right. But if you look at it, it's a side length. Is it possible to have a negative side length? No. So it has to be the positive version. It's not possible for it to be the negative version because we're talking about a real object. It can't have a negative number for a side. Okay, so now let's try this one. So this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Except this time, we know c squared. C squared is the longest side, which is what the box is pointing to. So this 8.5 is the first thing you do, and you put that in for C, because that is the hypotenuse. Okay, so now we've got, do I want the 7.7 as A or B? Does it matter? No. So I'm going to put 7.7 as A. 7 squared plus b squared equals 8.5 squared. Sorry, that is a point. That's what it looks like. So C becomes 8.5. Be very careful about that because this is where most students mess up. This is why this one is a whole separate quiz if you're taking the class. So now I got 7.7 squared, which is 7.7 times 7.7, which is 59.29. And then we got plus b squared, and now we got to do 8.5 times 8.5, which is going to be 72.25. All right, now we got to figure out how to get b squared alone. So we're going to actually subtract 59.29 to delete it, but you got to do it to both sides because you can't just do it to one side. So now we have b squared equals 72.25 minus 59.29 is 12.96. We're still in decimals, but it's okay. It's just a decimal. So now we got to get rid of the squared. So we are going to square root, cancel that out. And now we've got b equals, what is the square root of 12.96? So careful putting this in the calculator. It can be kind of hard to get the square root symbol, but it does come out to a number, and a pretty easy one. It comes out to 3.6. So that is the answer for that one. And we are done.